Welcome to Money is Freedom, a podcast exploring how finance and freedom connect in our lives. Created from thoughtful research and narrated by NotebookLm AI, this series brings you clear, meaningful insights into finance and beyond. Welcome to episode 11, where we're diving into the transformative power of generative AI in 2024. From redefining enterprise workflows to sparking a wave of startup innovation, this technology is no longer a concept of the future. It's happening now. Join us as we unpack the latest trends, challenges, and predictions shaping the AI revolution in the business world. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready to dive into something really cool. Today we're going to take a deep dive into the world of AI.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically, how it's changing the game for businesses.
Absolutely.
And we've got this fantastic report from Menlo Ventures. It's called 2024, The State of Generative AI in the Enterprise.
It's a great report.
And it's packed with insights I think you're going to find really fascinating.
Definitely. And it's not just about the future anymore, right? This is about what's happening now.
Right now. This is all happening so fast.
Exactly. The shift is happening incredibly quickly.
Okay, so let's unpack this. The report highlights a massive increase in AI spending just this year.
Huge.
We're talking $13.8 billion.
Yeah.
That's 6 times what it was in 2023.
I mean, that's a huge jump.
What's driving that massive investment?
Well, it's a clear sign that companies are moving beyond just experimenting with AI. You know, they're starting to see real potential for AI to become a core part of their business strategy.
So they're not just dipping their toes in the water anymore.
No, they're diving in headfirst.
They're going all in.
Absolutely. And it's not just hype either. The report shows that 40% of that spending is coming from permanent budgets, not just innovation funds.
So it's not just like a little side project.
No, it's becoming a core part of how they do business.
Okay, so they're serious about this, but where's all this money going?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting. The report digs into the specifics of how companies are actually using AI. And some of them might surprise you.
Okay, lay it on me.
Okay. One of the hottest areas is what they call code co-pilots.
Oh yeah, I've heard about this. It's like having an AI partner that helps you write code, right?
Exactly. It's like having an AI pair programmer right there with you.
Like GitHub Copilot.
Yeah, GitHub Copilot's a great example. And it's already a massive success. It's got a $300 million revenue run rate.
Wow, so they're making serious bank.
Oh yeah. Developers are really embracing these tools.
It makes sense. It's like it frees you up to focus on the bigger picture.
Exactly. And it's not just about general coding either. Companies are building AI tools for specific tasks within software development.
Okay, so give me an example. How are these specialized AI tools actually changing the game for developers?
Well, think about things like automating code testing or generating code for specific tasks. You know, those repetitive tasks that developers used to spend hours on?
Right.
So Harness, for example, they created an AI DevOps engineer and a QA assistant.
Wow.
Those AI tools are taking care of all those time-consuming tasks.
So the AI is doing the grunt work, and the developers can focus on
the more strategic stuff.
the creative stuff.
Absolutely.
I like it. What else are companies using AI for?
Well, another major area is customer support.
Okay.
You know, think about those 24/7 chatbots that can actually understand your questions and troubleshoot your problems.
Okay, but are we talking about those basic chatbots that just kind of frustrate you more than they help?
No. We're talking about something much more advanced.
Like actual intelligence.
Exactly. Companies like Izera, Decagon, Sierra, they're creating AI chatbots that are so advanced they can actually interact with customers in a personalized way.
Okay, so they understand context.
They understand the context of your questions, they learn from past interactions, and they can even adapt their communication style to different customer personalities.
That's wild.
Yeah, and it's not just about customer-facing support either. Observe, AI is using AI to support the human agents themselves, giving them real-time guidance during calls.
Oh, that's interesting. So they're like AI coaches.
Exactly.
Wow. So we've got AI helping developers write code. We've got AI supporting customer service agents. What other tasks are companies handing over to these AI assistants?
Well, think about all the information that's locked away in companies' data.
Right.
You know, emails, documents, spreadsheets. It's a goldmine of knowledge.
It is, but
it's often really hard to find what you need.
it's like trying to find a needle in a haystack.
Exactly. And that's where AI is proving to be incredibly powerful. Companies like Glean and Sana, they're using AI to completely change how we search and retrieve information.
So how does that work? What makes these AI-powered search tools so different?
Well, instead of just looking for keywords, these AI tools can actually understand what you're looking for. the meaning and the context of your search.
Oh, that's cool.
They connect to all sorts of data sources, and then they use natural language processing to find the most relevant information.
So it's like having an AI research assistant
That's a great way to put it.
who just goes and digs through all that stuff and pulls out exactly what you need.
And they can even extract data and transform it into a format that's easy to analyze and understand,
So it's about,
turning raw data into actionable insights.
that's really cool.
Yeah.
This is all so impressive. It seems like AI is becoming essential for any business that wants to stay ahead of the curve.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
And we've only just scratched the surface. There's so much more to explore.
Okay, well, I'm ready to keep going.
All right. How about AI-powered meetings?
Okay, you've got my attention. Tell me about this AI meeting magic.
Imagine this: no more struggling to take notes during meetings or missing key information.
I like where this is going.
There are tools like fireflies.ai, otter.ai.
Okay.
They can record and transcribe your meetings. Then they use AI to generate concise summaries, highlight action items, and even flag important decisions.
Okay, so no more going back and forth trying to remember who said what.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you can be sure that everyone's on the same page about next steps.
This is great. I love it. And it's not just for like business meetings, right?
Right. It can be used in all sorts of contexts. There's even a company, Eleos Health, that's using AI to automate documentation for doctors.
Wow, that's amazing. Doctors can finally spend less time on paperwork and more time with their patients.
It's a win-win.
It really is. So we've got AI helping developers write code. We've got AI supporting customer service agents. We've got AI revolutionizing meetings.
That's right.
What else?
Well, we've talked a lot about AI augmenting human work, but what about AI taking over entirely?
Oh, yeah. That's the big question. Is that something we're actually seeing happening?
Well, it's still early days,
Okay.
but the report suggests that we're on the brink of a transition to more independent AI systems.
Okay, so AI actually making decisions and taking actions on its own.
Exactly. It's a big shift.
What would that even look like?
Well, there are some fascinating examples popping up in areas like financial back office operations. Companies like Ford and Semaphore are developing AI that can handle complex financial tasks, like reconciliation and reporting.
With very little human intervention.
Exactly.
So it's like having an AI CFO running the show.
It's getting close.
But that brings up some interesting questions, right?
Definitely. Like, how much control are we willing to give AI?
Yeah, for sure.
It's something we need to think carefully about.
Definitely.
Right.
But before we start worrying about robots taking over, let's focus on what's happening right now.
Okay.
You mentioned this trend toward services as software.
Yes. Menlo Ventures is calling it the services as software era.
Can you tell me more about that?
Sure. So basically it means that AI solutions can deliver the same capabilities as traditional service providers, but with the speed and efficiency of software.
Okay.
It's a bold prediction,
It is.
but considering how quickly AI is developing, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
No, it's not. So with all these incredible AI solutions popping up, are companies building these in-house or are they buying them from vendors? What's the trend there?
That's a great question. And it turns out it's almost an even split. 47% are building their own AI solutions, while 53% are going with vendors.
That's really interesting. I would have guessed that most companies would prefer to buy ready-made solutions.
Well, that was the trend last year. 80% were relying on vendors.
Oh, wow.
But this shift toward building in-house shows that companies are getting more comfortable with developing their own AI tools.
So they're realizing that they have the talent and expertise to do it themselves.
Exactly. It's a sign of growing confidence in the enterprise AI space.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And regardless of whether they're building or buying, companies are laser-focused on ROI.
Right. So they want to make sure that their AI investments are paying off.
Exactly. They're not just jumping on the AI bandwagon. They're choosing solutions that will actually make a difference for their business.
And you know what's surprising?
What's that?
Price isn't as big of a factor as you might think. Only 1% of companies mentioned price as a major concern.
That's right. They're willing to invest in quality solutions that deliver real value.
Even if it costs a bit more upfront.
Exactly. It's a long-term investment.
It's not a quick fix.
Not at all.
But even with the best intentions, there are still some potential pitfalls when implementing AI.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not all smooth sailing.
What kind of challenges are companies facing?
Well, one of the biggest traps is underestimating implementation costs.
Okay.
It's easy to get caught up in the initial price tag of an AI solution, but then you forget about the hidden costs of integration training, ongoing support.
Because those extra expenses.
Exactly. And in fact, 26% of failed AI pilot programs cited implementation costs as a major factor.
Wow, so it's a real issue.
It is. And then there are data privacy issues to think about.
Right.
AI systems often need access to sensitive data, so companies need to make sure they have strict data governance policies in place.
To comply with regulations and protect customer privacy.
Especially with all the data breaches happening these days.
It's a serious consideration.
It is. And then there's always the chance that AI projects just don't deliver the expected results right.
Right. 18% of failed AI pilots were attributed to disappointing ROI.
It's a reminder that AI isn't a magic bullet.
No, it's not. It needs to be implemented strategically to be successful.
So what's the key takeaway here? What can companies do to avoid these pitfalls?
Well, planning is crucial.
Okay.
Businesses need to approach AI implementations strategically.
Not impulsively.
Exactly.
So you got to do your research.
You got to do your homework.
Before you just dive in.
Right. Assess your needs, thoroughly evaluate different solutions, carefully consider all the potential costs and challenges before making any big decisions.
That's great advice. Now, earlier we talked about the rise of startups in the AI space. Is there any data on how they're stacking up against the big established players?
Yeah, that's a great question. And the report offers some fascinating insights. Remember how last year incumbent vendors were pretty much dominating the market?
Yeah, I felt like they were just kind of adding AI features onto their existing products.
Right. More incremental steps than truly groundbreaking innovations.
Exactly.
But Menlo Ventures predicted that startups would start gaining ground.
Okay.
And the data now supports that prediction.
Interesting.
While 64% of businesses still prefer to buy from established vendors, there are signs that this dominance is starting to waver.
Really? What are the signs?
Well, 18% of decision makers reported being disappointed with offerings from incumbent vendors.
Okay.
And a whopping 40% questioned whether their current solutions were actually meeting their needs.
Wow, so that's a pretty big chunk of the market that's open to new solutions.
Exactly. It's a prime opportunity for startups to come in and disrupt the status quo.
Okay, so we've established that AI is impacting businesses across the board. Right. But is it really being adopted by all departments, or is it mainly concentrated in certain areas like IT?
That's a great question. And one of the most remarkable findings in this report is that AI adoption is happening across all departments.
Really?
It's not just a tech thing anymore. Every part of the business is feeling the impact.
So it's not just the IT and engineering departments leading the charge.
Well, those departments definitely get the lion's share of the AI budget.
Okay.
With IT at 22% product and engineering at 19% and data science at 8%.
Okay.
But the remaining budget is spread across a wide range of functions.
So give me some examples. Where else are companies investing in AI?
Well, you've got customer-facing departments like support, sales, and marketing.
Okay.
They're all investing in AI supports at 9%, sales at 8%, marketing at 7%. Then there are the back office teams like HR and finance, also at 7% each. And even smaller departments like design at 6% and legal at 3% are getting in on the action.
So AI really is becoming an organization-wide phenomenon. It's not just a niche technology anymore. It's something that every department is thinking about.
Exactly. And it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
AI has the potential to transform how work gets done, regardless of the specific industry or department.
I think that's a great point.
And that's why we're seeing this shift towards more specialized AI solutions tailored to the needs of different industries.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about these vertical AI applications. What are some of the most exciting developments happening in specific industries?
Well, one of the most surprising findings in the report is that healthcare is actually leading the charge when it comes to AI adoption. They're pouring a massive $500 million into enterprise AI spending this year.
Wow, that's a huge investment for an industry that's not always known for being quick to embrace new technology. What's driving this spending spree in healthcare?
Well, one area that's really taking off is what they call ambient scribes.
Ambient scribes.
These are AI-powered tools that can listen in on conversations between doctors and patients and automatically generate clinical notes.
So doctors can finally ditch the tedious paperwork?
Right, and focus more on their patients.
That's a win-win for everybody.
It really is. Companies like Abridge Ambience, Heidi Ileo's Health, they're all developing ambient scribe solutions that are gaining popularity in doctors' offices.
And that's just one example.
Right. And then there's this whole area of clinical workflow automation, where AI is being used to streamline everything from patient intake and triage to billing and coding.
So it's really revolutionizing healthcare.
Absolutely.
From top to bottom.
Yeah, it's not just about improving efficiency either. It's about enhancing the quality of care and making healthcare more accessible and affordable.
I think those are really important goals.
Absolutely. And those are just a few examples of how AI is transforming the healthcare landscape.
Right.
Another industry that's ripe for disruption is the legal profession.
Okay.
They're traditionally resistant to change, but they're starting to embrace AI in a big way.
Really? So how's AI actually being used in law?
Well, lawyers deal with massive amounts of unstructured data. Contracts, legal briefs, case files. And AI is proving to be incredibly helpful in managing and analyzing all that information. We're talking $350 million in enterprise spending this year.
So it's like AI is coming in to help them sift through all those documents.
Exactly, and find the key information they need.
And it can also help them with those really tedious tasks.
Right, like contract review and legal research.
So it's freeing up the lawyers to
focus on the more strategic and creative aspects of their work.
Exactly. So it's the same story we're seeing across industries. AI taking care of the grunt work so humans can focus on the high-value tasks.
A common theme.
What other industries are jumping on the AI bandwagon?
Well, financial services is another hotbed of AI innovation. They're investing $100 million in enterprise AI this year.
Okay, so what are the big AI plays in the world of finance?
Well, finance is all about data, right? Accounting, research, compliance, risk management AI is automating a lot of those data-intensive processes, giving financial professionals more time to focus on strategic thinking and high-level decision-making.
So less number crunching.
Exactly.
More big-picture thinking.
Right. So, for example, you have companies like Numeric and Clarity revolutionizing accounting with AI-powered tools.
Okay.
Archifi and Rogo are accelerating financial research through advanced data extraction and analysis.
Wow.
And companies like Arch are using AI to shake things up in back-office operations for investment firms.
So AI is having a pretty significant impact on how financial institutions operate.
Absolutely. And then there's this whole area of compliance and risk management.
Right.
Keeping up with ever-changing regulations is a huge challenge for financial institutions.
It is.
But AI is helping those. Companies like Greenlight and Norm AI are developing real-time compliance monitoring solutions that use AI to flag potential violations.
So it's like AI is becoming the compliance officer's new best friend.
Yeah, you could say that. And then there's media and entertainment, which is also seeing a surge in AI adoption. We're talking $100 million in enterprise spending this year.
Okay, so AI is making its way to Hollywood.
That's right. Tools like Runway have become essential for things like video editing and special effects. And platforms like Black Forest Labs, Higgsfield, Ideogram, Midjourney, Pika.
Wow, that's a lot.
They're all pushing the boundaries of AI-powered content creation.
So we're talking about AI helping to generate scripts, compose music, even create entire movies.
It's not quite at that level yet, but it's getting there. And it's not just about big budget productions. AI is also empowering individual creators with tools like Captions and Descript, which make it easier to create high-quality audio and video content.
It's like AI is democratizing content creation.
Exactly, giving everyone access to tools that were once only available to professionals.
I love that.
It's really exciting to see how AI is changing the game for creators of all levels.
We've covered so much ground already, but I have one more question before we move on. We've talked about all these amazing applications, but I want to step back and look at the tech behind it all. What's the infrastructure that makes all this AI magic happen?
That's a great point. All these incredible AI applications wouldn't be possible without a solid foundation.
So let's talk about the modern AI stack. What are the key components that power all of this innovation?
Well, after a year of rapid evolution, the modern AI stack has stabilized somewhat. Businesses are converging around a core set of building blocks that form the foundation of most production AI systems.
So there's like a common blueprint emerging for how to build and deploy AI solutions.
Exactly. And at the heart of this blueprint are what we call foundation models.
Okay.
These are large language models, or LLMs, that have been trained on massive data sets and can do a wide range of things, from generating text and translating languages to writing code and analyzing images.
So foundation models are like the brains of the operation.
Well, that's a great way to put it. And these brains are getting bigger and more powerful all the time. And businesses are pouring a massive $6.5 billion into this LLM layer. But they're also learning that it takes more than just a powerful LLM to create successful AI solutions.
What else do they need?
They need what's called data scaffolding.
Okay.
It's about building the right infrastructure around the LLM to make sure it can access and process data effectively and generate reliable outputs.
So it's like having the right support system to help that AI brain function at its best.
Exactly. That includes things like data pipelines, data cleansing tools, integration with existing systems. It's a complex ecosystem working together.
It sounds like there are a lot of moving parts. Are there any clear trends emerging in how companies are using these foundation models to build solutions?
Yeah, one interesting trend is the rise of multi-model strategies.
Okay.
Businesses are realizing that it's often better to use multiple foundation models instead of relying on just one.
So it's like having a team of experts.
That's a great analogy.
Each with their own specialty.
Exactly. Companies might use one foundation model for text generation, another for image analysis, and yet another for code generation.
Right. So it's about choosing the right tool for the job.
Exactly. And in fact, the report shows that companies are using an average of 3 or more foundation models in their AI stacks.
Wow, so it's really mixing and matching.
They are. And this multi-model approach probably plays into this whole debate about open versus closed source AI, right? And despite all the buzz around open source AI, closed source solutions are still dominating the market with 81% market share.
So companies are still playing it safe, opting for the control and security of closed systems.
That seems to be the case, but open source is holding strong at 19%.
Okay.
Led by Meta's Llama 2. So it's not a complete shutout.
So the competition is still on. Are there any other interesting shakeups happening in the closed source world?
Oh, definitely. OpenAI, the creator of ChatGPT, was the early leader.
Right.
But their market share has dropped from 50% to 34%.
Wow, that's a pretty big drop. What's behind that?
Well, Anthropic, a company that's focused on safe and ethical AI, seems to be the main beneficiary of this shift. Their market share has doubled from 12% to 24%, thanks in part to their new model, Claude 3.5 Sonnet, which is seen as a strong contender to OpenAI's GPT-4.
So businesses are really prioritizing safety and ethics when it comes to choosing their AI tools.
It's a trend that's likely to continue as AI becomes more powerful and integrated into our lives.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so we've got multi-model strategies and a growing emphasis on safe and ethical AI. Any other major trends shaping the LLM landscape?
Well, the landscape is constantly evolving, but one of the most recent and interesting developments is Anthropic's release of Claude 3.5 Sonnet. This new model has some groundbreaking capabilities, including the ability to use computers.
Wait, AI using computers? That sounds a little too sci-fi for me.
I know, it's kind of mind-blowing, right? But Anthropic is very focused on responsible AI development and has built-in safeguards to ensure Claude 3.5 Sonnet uses computers safely and ethically.
Okay, that makes me feel a little better. But what does it even mean for an AI to use a computer? Can you give me an example?
Sure. Imagine an AI that can not only access information on the internet, but also interact with software applications, run calculations, and even generate its own code.
So it's like an AI that can basically do everything a human can do on a computer.
Exactly. And that opens up a whole new world of possibilities for what AI can accomplish.
This is getting pretty meta. It's definitely exciting, but also a little scary to think about.
I understand the apprehension. It's a powerful technology, and it's crucial that we develop and deploy it responsibly. But the potential benefits are truly groundbreaking.
Okay, so the LLM landscape is clearly a hotbed of innovation, and it's evolving at an incredible pace. But let's shift gears for a moment and talk about design patterns.
Okay.
What are the different ways that businesses are actually using these foundation models to build their AI solutions?
Well, the report highlights some interesting trends in AI design patterns. And one of the most popular is called ARGA, which stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation.
RJAG. That doesn't sound very high-tech.
I know, right? But it's actually a really powerful technique that allows AI systems to access and use external knowledge sources.
Okay, so how does ARGA actually work?
Well, think about building a chatbot that needs to answer customer questions about a specific product.
Okay.
With ARG, you can connect that chatbot to a database of product information. Then when a customer asks a question, the chatbot can instantly pull up the relevant information and use it to generate a helpful response.
Oh, okay. So it's like giving the chatbot access to a giant library of knowledge?
Exactly.
Making it much smarter and more accurate?
That's right. And it's becoming increasingly popular. RAG adoption is up to 51% this year compared to just 31% last year.
That's a pretty big jump.
It is.
It shows that businesses are really starting to understand the value of giving their AI systems access to those external information sources.
It's about giving them the tools to truly learn and grow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then there's fine-tuning, another design pattern that gets a lot of attention.
Yes.
So fine-tuning is like tweaking the settings on your AI
That's a good way to think about it.
to make it work exactly the way you want.
You're taking a pre-trained foundation model and training it further on a specific data set to make it even better at a particular task.
So it's about customizing the AI to your specific needs.
Exactly. But what's interesting is that fine-tuning is actually less common than you might think.
Really?
Only 9% of production models are being fine-tuned.
That's surprising. I would have thought that most companies would want to fine-tune their AI models to get that optimal performance.
It's a common misconception, but it turns out that for many applications, fine-tuning isn't necessary.
Okay.
The pre-trained foundation models are often good enough right out of the box.
Well, it's about choosing the right approach for the job.
Exactly. Sometimes fine-tuning is needed and sometimes it's not. And then there's another design pattern that's gaining momentum,
Okay.
and it's probably the most disruptive of all:
Lay it on me.
agentic architectures.
Agentic architectures. That sounds intense. What are we talking about here?
Imagine an AI system that's not just capable of performing a single task, but can actually interact with the world, make decisions, take actions on its own.
So it's like an AI that has its own agency.
Exactly.
It can actually act on its own.
That's what agentic architectures are all about.
That's a big deal.
They're still in the early stages of development,
Okay.
but they're already being used in 12% of AI implementations.
Wow. That's a pretty big number considering it's such a new concept.
It is.
What are some real-world examples of how agentic architectures are being used?
Well, imagine a personal assistant AI that can not only manage your calendar and book appointments, but it can also proactively find opportunities for you, negotiate deals on your behalf, and even manage your finances.
So it's not just an assistant. It's like a true agent.
Exactly, representing you in the world.
That's incredible.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Agentic architectures have the potential to completely revolutionize everything from customer service and logistics to healthcare and education.
This is exciting, but also a little intimidating to think about AI having that level of autonomy. It's a lot to process.
I understand the apprehension. It's crucial that we approach this technology cautiously and ensure that we develop and deploy it responsibly.
For sure, but the potential benefits are immense.
They are.
Okay, so we've got Orlangs for accessing external knowledge, fine-tuning for customizing AI models, and agentic architectures for creating AI agents that can act autonomously.
Yeah.
It's a lot to take in. But before we move on, I want to circle back to R for a moment. You mentioned that it lets AI systems tap into external knowledge. But how's that knowledge stored and accessed? What's the infrastructure behind that?
That's a great question, and it's an area that's seeing a lot of innovation right now. To make our work, businesses need efficient ways to store and access relevant knowledge.
Okay.
Traditional databases like Postgres and MongoDB are still commonly used.
Yeah.
They account for 15% and 14% of deployments, respectively.
Yep.
But AI-specific solutions are gaining traction.
So like databases that are specifically designed for AI applications.
Exactly. And one of the leaders in this space is Pinecone, an AI native vector database that's already captured 18% of the market.
Okay, so what makes a vector database so special? How is it different from a traditional database?
Well, think of it this way. A traditional database organizes data into rows and columns, like a spreadsheet.
Right.
But a vector database stores data as vectors, which are mathematical representations of data points.
Okay.
This makes it much more efficient for searching and retrieving information based on similarity.
So it's like a database that understands the meaning of the data. It's storing not just the raw data itself.
That's a great way to put it. And it's crucial for REA because it allows AI systems to quickly and easily find the most relevant information from huge amounts of data.
That's really cool. Okay, so we've got vector databases for storing and retrieving knowledge. But what about getting that data into the database in the first place? What does that process look like?
Well, that's where data ETL comes in, extract, transform, load. Traditional ETL platforms are still widely used, accounting for 28% of deployments. But specialized tools designed for the nuances of unstructured data, like PDFs and HTML, are becoming more popular.
So tools that can actually understand the context of the data they're processing, not just the raw text.
Exactly. And one of the leading companies in this space is Unstructured, which has a 16% market share.
It seems like the entire ecosystem is evolving to support the unique needs of AI applications.
Absolutely. And that's what's so exciting about this field. We're seeing innovation at every level, from the foundation models themselves to the infrastructure that supports them. And it's all happening so fast.
Okay, I'm definitely feeling the energy here. We've covered a lot of ground today, from the booming enterprise AI market to the nuts and bolts of the modern AI stack. But before we wrap things up, I'm curious to hear what Menlo Ventures is predicting for the future.
Well, they've actually outlined 3 key predictions.
Okay.
And they're all pretty bold.
I'm all ears. Lay those predictions on me.
Okay. Prediction number 1 is that agent-driven transformation is going to be the next big wave in AI.
So those agentic architectures we talked about earlier, they're going to be even bigger than we thought.
That's what they're predicting. They believe that AI agents will move beyond simple tasks and start tackling more complex multi-step processes.
Okay.
Imagine AI agents that can manage entire supply chains, optimize marketing campaigns, or even provide personalized financial advice.
It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It's pretty mind-blowing.
Okay, so agentic architectures are prediction number 1. What else do they see happening?
Well, prediction number 2 is that more incumbent companies are going to fall to AI-native challengers.
So we're talking about startups with AI-powered solutions coming in and disrupting established players.
Yeah.
Like what happened with Chegg and Stack Overflow.
Exactly. Those are just the beginning. Menlo Ventures believes that other categories are ripe for disruption as well. They specifically mention IT outsourcing firms like Cognizant and legacy automation players like UiPath as being vulnerable to AI-native challengers.
So companies that haven't fully embraced AI are at risk of being left behind. It's a case of adapt or die.
Right. That's the reality of the situation. And they believe that over time, even software giants like Salesforce and Autodesk could face serious competition from AI-native startups.
So no one is safe.
No one is immune to disruption.
Okay, so that's prediction number 2. Incumbent companies being disrupted by AI-native startups. What's the third prediction?
Their third prediction is perhaps the most concerning, and it has to do with talent. They're predicting an intensifying AI talent drought.
A talent trap. What do they mean by that?
They're basically saying that the demand for AI talent is going to far outstrip the supply. As AI systems become more sophisticated and widespread, there's going to be a huge need for people who can build, deploy, and manage these systems.
So it's not just about data scientists anymore.
Right. It's going to require a whole range of skills, from AI engineers and architects to ethicists and product managers who understand how to integrate AI into products and services.
So companies are going to be battling it out to attract and retain top AI talent.
Absolutely. And that's going to push salaries higher and create a very competitive job market. Menlo Ventures predicts that we'll see 2 to 3 times salary premiums for AI-skilled enterprise architects who are already well compensated.
So the AI talent crunch is a serious issue that businesses need to be aware of. It's not just about the technology itself. It's about having the right people to make it all work.
Exactly. It's something they need to start planning for now if they haven't already.
Okay, so we've got 3 bold predictions: the rise of agent-driven transformation, the disruption of incumbents by AI-native startups, and an intensifying AI talent drought. It paints a pretty dramatic picture of the future.
It does, but it's also an incredibly exciting time to be involved in AI. We're on the verge of a major technological revolution, and the possibilities are truly limitless.
I completely agree. It's mind-boggling to think about where all of this is headed. Speaking of exciting developments, I'm curious to hear about some of the specific companies that Menlo Ventures is backing in this space.
They've highlighted several portfolio companies that are using AI to make a real difference in the world.
I'd love to hear about some of them. It's always inspiring to see how AI is being used to solve real-world problems.
One company that stands out is Vilya, co-founded by Nobel Prize-winning scientist David Baker.
Wow!
They're using AI to revolutionize drug discovery.
Using AI to develop new drugs. How does that even work?
Well, they're using AI to design potential new drugs on a computer.
Okay.
And to predict their structure and function. This is helping to speed up the development of new life-saving treatments for patients.
That's incredible. It sounds like AI is playing a key role in advancing medical research and bringing new treatments to market faster. Are there any other companies using AI in innovative ways like that?
Absolutely. There's Squint, a company that's transforming manufacturing training with AI.
Oh.
They're working with big names like Continental Michelin and Nestle to capture the expertise of experienced workers and create immersive augmented reality training experiences for new employees.
So it's like having an AI-powered mentor right there with you, guiding you through the training process.
Exactly. These AR experiences provide real-time guidance and verification step by step. This helps to improve safety, reduce errors, and ensure consistent quality.
That's amazing. What other exciting companies are they working with?
Another company worth mentioning is CodeSignal. They're using AI to help businesses find and hire the best engineering talent.
So AI-powered recruiting for engineers. How does that work?
They've developed a platform that uses AI to automate coding assessments, personalize question difficulty based on skill level, and even detect plagiarism.
That's cool.
This helps businesses ensure they're hiring the most skilled and qualified engineers.
It makes sense. It's like having an AI-powered recruiter who can quickly and accurately assess technical skills.
Exactly. And it helps to reduce bias in the hiring process, making sure that everyone has a fair chance to show off their skills.
That's a really important point.
Yeah.
It's great to see AI being used to create a more equitable hiring process. What other companies are they excited about?
Well, they're also highlighting Abnormal Security, a company that's using AI to protect businesses from email attacks like phishing and business email compromise.
So AI is a cybersecurity watchdog.
Exactly.
Protecting businesses from those nasty email scams.
Abnormal Security's AI-powered platform can spot suspicious patterns in email traffic and stop attacks before they can do any damage.
And that's so crucial these days with cyber attacks becoming more common and sophisticated.
Absolutely. And they claim their platform can prevent up to $4 million in potential losses each year for their clients.
That's a significant ROI. It sounds like a worthwhile investment for any business concerned about cybersecurity.
Yeah.
What other companies are on the radar?
One last company I want to mention is Typeface, which is using AI to help brands create personalized on-brand content at scale.
So AI is a marketing assistant.
You could say that Typeface's AI-powered platform lets brands generate a wide range of content, from social media posts and email campaigns to product descriptions and blog articles.
That sounds like a dream for any marketing team struggling to keep up with the demand for content.
It frees up their time to focus on strategy and creativity.
Absolutely. And they're working with some big names, including Nike, Starbucks, and LG Electronics.
They've got some impressive clients.
Wow. It sounds like Menlo Ventures has a really diverse portfolio of AI-powered companies.
They do, and they're clearly enthusiastic about the potential of AI to transform a wide range of industries.
Okay, so we've reached the end of our deep dive into a world of generative AI in the enterprise. It's been an incredible journey, and I feel like we've only scratched the surface.
I agree. It's a vast and rapidly evolving landscape, but I think we've captured some of the key trends and insights that are shaping the future of AI in business.
Absolutely. And I'm sure our listeners are eager to hear your final thoughts on this topic. What's the biggest takeaway for them?
Given the rapid pace of AI advancement and the trends we've discussed, it's crucial for everyone to start thinking about how generative AI will impact their industry or field in the next few years.
It's a great point. This isn't just something that's happening in Silicon Valley. AI is going to affect all of us, regardless of our profession or industry.
Exactly. The sooner we start thinking about the implications, the better prepared we'll be to navigate this exciting new world. And for our listener, I'm curious, what were your biggest takeaways from this report? What are you most excited about, or maybe a little apprehensive about when it comes to AI's impact on your world?
It's interesting you say that, because what really stood out to me was this whole concept of agentic architectures.
Yeah.
It's both fascinating and a bit unnerving to think about AI systems that can act autonomously, making decisions and taking actions on their own.
Yeah, I get that. It's definitely a big leap forward from the AI tools we're used to seeing today.
For sure.
And it raises some really interesting questions about the future of work and how we interact with technology.
Exactly. And it makes me wonder, how do we even begin to prepare for a world where AI is not just assisting us, but actually acting as our agent in various aspects of our lives?
It's a key question, and one that we'll need to grapple with as AI continues to evolve. But even beyond agentic architectures, there's so much to unpack about how AI is changing the landscape of business.
Right, from revolutionizing customer service and streamlining software development to transforming healthcare and disrupting entire industries, it's clear that AI is already having a profound impact. And it's only going to become more pervasive in the years to come.
Absolutely. The intelligent enterprise is no longer a futuristic vision. It's becoming our reality. And the companies that embrace AI strategically are the ones that will thrive in this new world.
So for anyone listening who's feeling overwhelmed or maybe a little intimidated by all this talk about AI, what's your advice? Where should they start?
I'd say the first step is to simply start learning and exploring.
Okay.
There are so many resources available online, from introductory courses to in-depth research reports. And don't be afraid to experiment with different AI tools and applications.
Yeah, dive in.
The more you understand about AI, the better equipped you'll be to harness its power and navigate the changes it brings.
That's great advice. And remember, you don't have to become an AI expert overnight. Just take it one step at a time and focus on learning the things that are most relevant to your work and your interests.
Exactly. And don't hesitate to reach out to experts in the field, attend industry events, or join online communities. There's a whole world of people who are passionate about AI and eager to share their knowledge and insights.
Yeah, it's really a collaborative effort to understand and shape the future of AI.
We're all in this together.
Absolutely. And for our listener, we'd love to hear your thoughts on all of this. What are you most excited or maybe a little apprehensive about when it comes to AI? Hit us up on social media. We'd love to keep this conversation going.
Because this is just the beginning.
It is.
The future of AI is full of possibilities, and it's up to all of us to explore those possibilities responsibly and create a future where AI benefits everyone.
Well said.
Tech.
And as always, thanks for taking this deep dive with us.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll catch you next time for another fascinating exploration of the trends shaping our world.